All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and fold down the blind and get everything, because once we cape out this bear, we're just going to go straight down the canyon. So we're going to fold down the blind, get everything kind of put away, and I'm going to show you how we do this. We haven't had a lot of trouble. Every now and then, if the bait goes empty, we'll have trouble with these blinds getting kind of visited, I guess you'd say. Um, so the bears, when those baits go empty, they'll come in and kind of search around to try to figure out where you'd moved the bait or what's going on. So we usually we stake down all the corners, but we usually just fold in the walls and drop the roof down, throw some rocks on it. And like I said, this path right here, those bears have been using nonstop. I mean, you can see by looking at this path how well traveled it is. They've been walking by this blind a lot and they haven't bothered it at all. You want to keep your scent out of the blind. You know, don't put your scent bag in there. Don't spray near the blind. I did spray at the top of this hill right here just to try to direct those bears, because we're coming right up here. And I was hoping to try to direct them up there, just because a lot of times when we spray scent, they'll go to each little bush and visit it on the way. I've seen them do it multiple times. So I just thought, well, why not try to get them away from the blind, just because I didn't want to spook this bigger one. And the smaller ones usually, you know, they get comfortable with you, but this bigger one is trailing this sow. And I just kind of figured, you know, he's not going to like this walking by this blind. So anyways, we're going to pop this down. I'll show you real quick how we do it. We're basically just popping in the walls. And then it drops to the ground. And a lot of times they won't go all the way down. So if you pop the roof, then you can just pivot this arm over. And then it'll snap down just like that. And then we usually take the netting. We need to drop our windows and pull all this down so we don't get a lot of ants and critters in here. And then we'll put rocks right here on the corners and some sticks or whatever. And if you have some fresh pine boughs or something you can throw on right here, that's awesome too, because, you know, it just kind of helps conceal it and blend it in. But otherwise, this blind has not been touched, and those bears are walking by it like constantly. So it's not fail safe, but especially when you have sows and cubs and things, you're going to get destruction just because they're curious. But we haven't had a lot of trouble. Every now and then we'll have a hole poked where they've stepped on it, or maybe they've flipped it over or something. But if we leave them up, then they really get curious of it. So we don't leave them up. We drop them down, lay them nice and flat like this. And then we put some rocks on the corners just like that. And that just kind of helps for the wind and critters, and, you know, just so they don't try to pop up. And we leave it just like that. And then, like I said, you could take and throw some pine boughs or something on that right there just to make it kind of blend in, but it works great. And then we can come up from right here, access through the back door, and then the bait is right there. It's probably a 60-70 yard shot, and we access from behind. And when we bait, we actually come from a different area. So our trail into the blind is totally, we just crest this hill and pop in the blind.